Yeah, they're
gonna wait. When you hit a million, can we have like a party that day?
Yeah. I'll give you all hundreds. Okay. All right, so here we know this is going to be a vertical parabola, so it's y equals a times the quantity of x minus h squared plus k. So we know h comma k is the vertex. So I have the vertex. Our vertex is the point 2, 3. What does that mean? H is 2 and k is 3. So now I know I have y equals a times x minus 2 squared plus 3. Is this good enough to be an equation? We still need an A. I'm not gonna figure out the A by trying to do the focus and count and do all that stuff. What I'm going to do is I know HK represents the vertex. I know, or we should know that XY represents what? X and Y represent what?
A point.
1 point? All the points. X and Y represent all the points that exist on this graph. X and Y represent all the points that exist on the graph. Well, I'm going to choose a point that's not the vertex because we've already used the vertex. Do we have another point on this graph? Yeah, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to sub in 0 for X and I'm going to sub in 5 for Y, and then guess what I'm going to solve for? Dylan, let's not speak today. All right, we're going to then solve for A. So here we're going to have 5 is equal to A times the quantity of 0 minus 2 squared plus 3. Oh, Lord, Tejas, come sit here. You can't see.
Where's glasses? Actually, move that to David.
He needs to sit next to Dravid. He can't see.
No, it's gonna make it worse.
Okay, so now we're going to go through this. We're going to solve for A. So now we have negative 2 squared is 4. So I have 4A plus 3. I'm going to subtract that 3. I have 2 is equal to 4A. Divide by 4. A will equal a half. So now I have everything I need to make an equation. So y equals a half times the quantity of x minus 2 squared plus 3. Now tell me, in comparison to the parent graph, is this going to be wider, more narrow, or the same? Wider. When A is a fraction, it's wider. When A is an integer, it's more narrow. When A is 1, it is the same. Good. Do you need to see a horizontal one like this, or could we move on to the more difficult ones?
Right to the difficult one. What do you think? Let us do that on our own. So you can speed into the lesson. Wait, A's out.
Is it true he followed you onto the bus?
No, I didn't. In middle school.
You know, I'm here.
It was you. It's how busy it was. Glasses, bro. So did I. You did? When did you get checked? I was doing that. I was trying to my stomach. During the night ones? No. I don't like it. The day. I still want to try it.
Oh, you have a night ones? I have a night ones.
It was a weird. They're better.
All right, guys. So now I'm going to, as we progress, I'll make things a little bit more complicated. So here, I want the equation of the parabola. I haven't given you a graph. I did tell you the vertex is 5, negative 1. No matter what kind of parabola it is, whether it's a vertical parabola or a horizontal parabola, isn't it always h comma k, no matter what? So we know right off the bat that my h is 5 and my k is negative 1. Now, it might help you to sketch this, or you can try to visualize it. So if my vertex is 5, negative 1, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, negative 1, that's V for vertex. My focus is 3, negative 1. 1, 2, 3, negative 1. That's my focus. So,
It's a negative,
so since since this is my vertex and this is my focus, is my parabola going to be to the side or is it going to be vertical?
Side.
Side, because if it were vertical, my focus would be above it or below it, right? So this has to be a sideways parabola. Since this has to be a sideways parabola, we are at x equals a times the quantity of y minus k squared plus h. So we have x is equal to a times y minus, so plus 1 squared plus 5. Are we all good so far, David? Guys, I can't hear the question. Why is what? Because this is going to end up being some kind of horizontal parabola. It's going to look like that. So this is the format for a horizontal parabola. That's just the equation, vertex form. Tejas?
So like wherever the focus is that where like the direction of the parabola is gonna be? Like if it's on the left, it's gonna always
It will face the focus.
Yes, it will always, you mean like open up? Yes, it will always open up to the focus. All right, let's keep going. So now I have my K, I have my H. I still don't have an A, which we do need the A. Let's go back to the other information they gave us. They told us the focus is the point 3, -1. Now remember, for the focus, it's going to be H, comma, no, this is horizontal focus, so it's going to be H plus 1 over, no, it's H comma K plus 1 over 4A. Is that vertical?
H plus 1 over 4A, comma.
Horizontal, we go with the H. H for horizontal. Yes, you're right. H plus 1 over 4A, comma K. Sorry about that. That's better, right? Okay, so now what are we going to know? Well, we know our K is -1. We already know that. But look, I can make this equation right here. I can say that H plus 1 over 4A, that A is in the denominator, equals 3. Do I know H? Yeah, I do know H. What is the H? 5. So now I'm going to sub into that. So we are 5 plus 1 over 4A equals 3. I can now solve for A. I'm going to, Claudia, you're not even looking. You have not even written anything down.
Yeah, it's the afternoon.
not an excuse.
All right, so I'm subtracting that 5. You need to pay attention. So we're going to have 1 over 4A equals -2. In order to solve for a variable, I need to get it out of the denominator. So I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to multiply by 4A on both sides. So now I'm going to have 1 is equal to -8A, and then I'm going to divide by -8. So we're going to have A is equal to -1/8. So we have x is equal to -1/8 times the quantity of y plus 1 squared plus 5.
Why did we set the equation equal to
So if you remember last class when I gave you all the different formulas, so if it were a horizontal parabola, the formula for the focus is H plus 1 over 4A comma K. Well, they're telling us the focus is 3, -1. That means the first coordinate, H plus 1 over 4A, has to equal 3, and the second coordinate, which is K, has to equal -1. Does that make sense? All right, can we do another one? Guys, I can't have side chatter every time I answer a question. We can't do that. All right, so now we're going to say we have a vertex at 0, 0. I have a focus at 0, 3. And I think that's it. All right, so once again, if you want to do a sketch to get a visual, if you're not sure if you could visualize it, you do not have to do a sketch. But if you want to get a visual to decide if it's a vertical parabola or a horizontal one, you can. So here's V, here's my vertex, and then our focus is 0, 3. So I'm going up 1, 2, 3. There's our F. So because the focus point is above, not to the left or the right, because the focus point is above the vertex, what kind of parabola is this going to be? A horizontal parabola or a vertical parabola?
Vertical.
It's going to be a vertical parabola. So now we know the format will be y equals x minus the quantity of x minus h squared plus k. Right, now this time we know the vertex is hk, and we know the focus is going to be h comma k plus 1 over 4a. Vertical k.
How do we know if it's vertical or not?
How do I know if the parabola is going to be vertical or not?
Is it if the focus is above?
So yeah, so the parabola always opens towards the focus.
I got it.
So it's sort of like if it's Pac-Man, it's like eating the focus. Is that funny? Am I funny? I think I'm funny. Not many people think I'm funny though. All right.
I disagree.
Thanks, Dravid. I like you today.
Which implies she doesn't like you.
Okay.
That's okay.
All right, let's plug in. So we are at 0 equals 0, oops, sorry, not 0, y equals x minus 0 squared plus 0. Oh, sorry, I forgot my a there. So y is equal to ax squared plus 0. We don't need that plus 0, right? This is not good enough. What do I need? What do I need? The a. I still need the a. How am I going to get the a? Well, we were told the focus point. So we know the focus point, 3, has to be equivalent to k plus 1 over 4a. So that's the equation I'm setting up. K plus 1 over 4a is equal to 3. Do I know what k is?
Yes.
Yeah, what is k? 0. So now I'm left with 1 over 4a equals 3. Get the a out of the denominator. So we're going to get 12a equals 1. So a is equal to 1/12. So we end up with y equals 1/12 x squared. Yes.
Would it be okay if you left it in y equals 1/12 parentheses x minus 0 squared plus 0?
Sure, I take that. That's fine. All right. Are we ready for another one?
Can we do one on your own? Yeah. That's a good idea, actually.
Just beat it the lesson.
Yeah, it gets harder. I got to show you the harder ones first.
Can we try the harder
Yeah,
one?
can we learn better?
Yeah.
Trial and error. How much harder are we talking?
It's all about the formulas.
Can we just do it on our own?
So if I tell you the vertex is negative 7, 4,
Yeah, I'll be able to do that.
you guys can try this one. Axis of symmetry
Oh, okay, there we go.
is x equals 7, and the lattice rectum
Rectum is y equals k minus 1 over 4a.
and, hold on, there's more. A is less than 0.
Oh yeah, how can the axis of symmetry
Probably have to be
be 7 if it's
I know,
the
it'd be
vertex
like
is
negative
negative 7?
No, negative 7, sorry.
Yeah, that doesn't.
Sorry, I meant to. Y'all are a tough crowd.
It's gonna get tough when you get famous, Miss A. Yeah. You were preparing me.
I can handle it.
You're preparing for the-
I'll have my people.
Who's gonna hire Melissa? Is Dravid gonna be here?
Dravid could be famous with me. I'll bring you into the limelight, Dravid. You could handle it.
I could.
Yeah, John's a running man.
He's a soccer player, like you over now.
What is the age? His grade?
this again.
A is less than 0.
So it's not.
You'll see.
Is that a shooting star?
A shooting star? These are all parabolas, David. We're not doing shooting stars. This whole chapter is parabolas. The chapter title is called Parabolas.
Like, can't spin a
Yo, wait. We got like 5 friends who subscribe. Okay.
Guys, a million. Let me know when we're at a million.
You're
Do,
at a million.
do you all want me to do this with you? All right. Okay.
Yes.
Wait, if I don't give it focus, what do I put on it?
That's what I'm saying. Let's do it
Because
together.
it's
Wait, how do you know which one?
Yeah, I mean, it's
Middle school math teacher's like 1,200
Okay. Can I help you? Okay, thanks. Guys, can I help you? All right, let's do this. The vertex is always HK, whether it's a vertical parabola, whether it's a horizontal parabola, it's always HK. Now, our axis of symmetry is X equals. So get a visual going, guys. Get a visual. We know that I'm at -7. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4. There's our vertex. And then our axis of symmetry is a vertical line. If our axis of symmetry is a vertical line, what does that mean? What kind of parabola is this?
Vertical.
Vertical. It's a vertical parabola. So, Tejas?
It's a vertical.
Arish, shh. People need to learn. You guys are very distracting to them. All right, so it is a vertical axis of symmetry. An axis of symmetry creates equal portions on both sides, right? Mirror images. So if the axis of symmetry is vertical, that means the parabola has to be vertical. If I were to draw a horizontal parabola through here, would that axis of symmetry create mirror images on both sides? There's no way. It has to be a vertical parabola. Would that axis of symmetry create equal images on both sides? Yes. All right, so this is a vertical parabola. So therefore, we're at y equals a times the quantity of x minus h squared plus k. I know that a times x plus 7 squared plus 4. Still need to find the a. All right, so now I told you this is where we're going to get the a from. I told you the lattice rectum is 6 units. Was there a formula for the length of the lattice rectum, Ryan? Yes. All right, so the lattice rectum is the absolute value of 1 over a. So we're saying, well, if the absolute value of 1 over a is equal to 6, what does that mean? We know 1 over a is going to equal 6, or 1 over a will equal -6. We solve both. So we're going to get a equals 1/6, or a equals -1/6. So Arish, you asked me, why did I tell you that a is less than 0? I told you a is less than 0 because I have 2 valid answers for a. So a is less than 0, that means a must be -1/6. So my vertical parabola is now in fact not opening up, it is opening down.
If you didn't put the a is less than 0, would it be like a smiley face and a frown?
We wouldn't know. There wouldn't be enough information to figure it out. I'd have to tell you something else then to figure it out.
For the axis of symmetry, could you tell just based off of if it's x equals
or y equals? Absolutely. That's why I'm saying if you know it without sketching it, you do not have to sketch it. This is just for the people that want that extra step to plot it. Yes.
No matter what, if the axis of symmetry is x equals,
That's what Drava just said. You guys got to listen to each other. All right. So now we are y equals, what was it? -1/6 times the quantity of x plus 7 squared plus 4. All right. So I think this next one is probably as hard. No, is it? Maybe this next one? I don't know. Let's see. It's not that, I don't really think any of these are that bad if I'm being completely honest. All right, ready? Maybe? Oh, maybe it does get a little bit harder. Okay.
Spike in difficulty. Like, what part of it is the difficult portion? Oh. Yep. This is where I go.
You didn't give us the part.
Exactly.
This is being stolen from. Where's my pencil? I don't know.
When you
No, where's my pencil?
get that is not happening.
Okay. So, this is going to be a little bit more involved. So right now, I know the directrix is y equals -1. So we have two options for a directrix, y equals or x equals. Y equals, is that a vertical parabola or a horizontal one? Vertical. This is a vertical parabola. You just got to memorize that page. You know what I'm talking about? The page where I wrote it all out? We got to memorize that. Vertical parabola. Right, so if you want to visualize it, y equals -1. This is our directrix. Remember, every point is an equal distance from the focus and the directrix. So wait, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 1, 2, 3. Yeah.
It's always the same distance away from the.
All right, so if this is our focus and this is our directrix, so every point, the vertex will be in between these two, the focus and the directrix. So if the vertex is in between these, doesn't this have to be a vertical one?
Yeah.
So that's how we know if you're, if you're not memorizing the formulas. That's how you know that it is a vertical parabola. Since I know it's a vertical parabola, we know we're coming back to y equals a times the quantity of x minus h squared plus k. Now that we know that this is a vertical parabola, we also know the equations for the focus. Focus for vertical is going to be h comma k plus 1 over 4 a. And the directrix for a vertical is going to be y equals k minus 1 over 4a.
How many questions are on the test?
I don't know. I still have to make it. I'll tell you guys tomorrow.
Wait, do you like grab it off of a website or do you like physically make the paper? It's
No, I make it. I make it on Word.
alright.
Okay. So now let's go, guys. You need to pay attention. So now what we're doing is we're going to set them equal. So we know, let's start with the focus. I know the focus is 5, 3. What does that mean? H is definitely 5. We know H is definitely 5. So we could put a star and say we know H is equal to 5. And then let's go to the directrix. We know this is y equals -1. All right, so let's come up here. So now I'm going to use what's left in my focus. So we have k plus 1 over 4a, no questions right now, equals 3. And I also have k minus 1 over 4a equals -1. Now, generally speaking, when we get to this point, we know the k, and then we could just solve for a, right? But we don't know the k because I didn't give you the vertex this time. But I have two equations that are using the same variables. They're using k and they're using a. Can I just set up a system and solve? That's what we want to do. So I'm gonna stack these two equations. I'm going to have k plus 1 over 4a equals 3, and k minus 1 over 4a equals negative 1. Now, when I add these two equations, k plus k is 2k. What is a positive 1 over 4a and a negative 1 over 4a? What happens? They cancel. And then I'm left with 3 minus 1, which is 2. So k is equal to 1. Now that I know what k is, can I plug in and solve for a? Yeah, does it matter which equation I plug into? No. Let me finish. So now we're going to go to k plus 1 over 4a equals 3. I know k is 1. So I have 1 plus 1 over 4a equals 3. Subtract that 1. 1 over 4a is equal to 2. Cross multiply. 8a equals 1. So a is equal to 1/8. David, what was your question?
Because
Shh.
if you visualize it and you said that the focus and the directrix are equal distance from each other, couldn't you find where they meet in the middle and then just find the points that kind of set up the system?
So you're saying can't you then find the vertex and then do that? You absolutely can. In my mind, this is a little bit easier than graphing it, but you absolutely can do that. Yes?
So on the test, regarding this method, I would need to
You'd be perfect, no? You can do it. You'd have to show me a sketch of the graph to show that's how you did it, but yeah. Yes?
Instead of like doing the system,
Mm-hmm.
could we just like take the average of the y values?
Literally what he just said.
That's what everybody, 3 different times now. If you guys listen to each other, you would know. Okay, so then we're going to have y is equal to 1/8 times x minus 5 squared plus 1. No, Aditya, don't ask me. All right. Huh? No. All right, let's do another one. Ready? You guys try this one on your own. Yeah. It doesn't get worse than, or maybe it gets a little bit worse. All right, I'll have you try this one, and then I'll give you, I think, as bad as it might get. You ready?
If you gave us nothing.
All right. So you all do this. Negative 1. Yeah, sorry. X equals negative 1.
It's horizontal.
What do you mean it's a horizontal?
Stop spoiling the problem,
This is
bro.
horizontal, yeah.
Oh, yeah. You're good. Sorry. Hey. And then we'll do one more problem, then we'll be done. After this one more problem, then we're done.
The focus isn't the vertex.
He really is.
That should be.
Is the directrix always under the vertex?
Yeah, it's never inside the parabola. It's never inside the parabola.
No, I
Oh, can I see you cover me?
don't spoil it. Whoa, my fault.
Oh, I thought that was an animal. I thought it was like a mouse.
You get 30 on here?
What you get?
So you did 160, right? So take you 2. This is like exactly.
I got 180.
I have a different answer.
Did you get 180? Yeah, I got 180.
Yeah, I got 180.
180.
You got it wrong.
Dravid's showing up today.
I feel good with
I know what I'm doing.
You know what you're doing? Good.
Aditya, bro. What happened?
So I gotta get
graphic?
It's just falling off, bro.
You're gonna do good.
It's not green. It's just one.
Are we ready? All right, who's got my equation for me? Claire. How many people got that? You all win. All right, anybody want to see me do it? All right, the very last problem we're doing today. Very last one for today.
What do we get? Like as the
Homework.
Given? No, the given.
Oh. I didn't know what you meant. Like,
the last problem. I feel like what I'm saying is stupid.
Let me start about what is homework? Is it like it's never gonna happen. Let's have fun.
Oh, 1/4.
Let's have
Okay, opens up.
It's the hardest to go get. I love
Go back to the
opens
Oh,
guess and check. Let's go.
what?
it's not guess and check.
I could.
How can you guess and check this?
I guess and check.
He just did. And points.
How can I have 2 vertex? Oh, wait. Wait,
Okay, it points
up.
Upward. So it opens upward.
Yeah.
All right, with a vertex at 4, comma K, and points 1, 3, and 3, -5. Now,
Are they
stay with me. First question for you: if it's opening up, what kind of parabola is it? Y equals, no, not horizontal, vertical. Y equals a times x minus h squared plus k. All right, the vertex is 4, comma K, which means I know H, but I don't know K. So I know Y equals A times X minus 4 squared plus K. Let's keep going. Now they're saying the points are 1, 3, and 3, -5. What do these points represent? 1, 3 in our equation. Dravid, thank you. Okay. They represent X and Y in the vertex form. I'm actually very proud right now. This is a very proud teacher moment for me. Dravid knew. Okay, so the XY, remember, XY represents all the different combinations of the points. I'm about to set up a system. So I'm going to first use 1, 3. So I'm going to say 3 is equal to A times 1 minus 4 squared plus K. So 3 is equal to, what do you mean what? All I did was substitute in X and Y. X, Y, right? I plugged in 1 for X. I feel like you only listen to 2 out of like every 50 words we say.
I'm trying to guess and check this.
No, there's no guess and check. Learn a real method. All right, so we're going to have 1 minus 4 is -3. -3 squared is 9. So we have 9A plus K. What am I going to do now? Who has an idea? David?
You could then do the same thing just with 3, -5.
Thank you, David. We are going to do the same thing, but now with 3, -5. So this is now my X and this is my Y. So we have Y equals A times X minus 4 squared plus K. But now I'm going to do -5 for Y, and I'll plug in 3 for X, and now I simplify. So I am -5 equals A plus K. Are we okay so far? All right, now I always like to solve through elimination. So now that I have my 2 equations in the same format, I'm going to line them up. So now I'm going to have 9A plus K equals 3, and I'm going to have A plus K equals -5. I'm going to subtract, meaning distribute in that negative to the bottom equation. Am I going too fast for you all? Yeah?
No, actually, no, you're good. I'm there.
All right, so then I distributed in that negative. 9a minus 1a is 8a. Positive k and a negative k cancel. 3 plus 5 is 8. What do we get? A is equal to 1. Now I have h, I have a. What have I not gotten yet? K. Can I go back to one of these equations to find k? Yeah, so now I'm going to go back and I'm going to write a plus k, what was it, equals negative 5. 1 plus k equals negative 5, so k is equal to negative 6. So now we have y is equal to x minus 4 squared minus 6. How come I didn't put a number in front? Because a is 1, exactly. No, you could absolutely put a 1 there. Did I go too fast? We good?